Hi, I'm Amy Porter, and this is my podcast. My mission is to show people how to empower themselves through music, business, and media. I try to see as clearly as possible how I can help. I showcase the music that I've played and the people I've met along the way. I'm a wife and a stepmom. You might know me as a professor, a performer, a producer, a publisher, a recording artist. I'm the founder of a couple of nonprofits. Welcome in to my Porter Flute pod. Welcome to Porter Flute Pod. It's our third season already, and it's episode 5. Go Blue Flutes. You're going to meet our freshmen. You will meet Ella, Isabella, Joyce, Ting-Yu, and Mia. In the podcast with me asking questions, Alan J. Tomasetti and Justine Sedke. We went to the vault and found that iconic piece by Gary Shocker, Regrets and Resolutions. You can find this on my Anatomy of Sound YouTube channel. It's Tim Carey playing piano. We hope that the freshmen have lots of resolutions and not many regrets at this point. Welcome to Porter Flute Pod. We're so happy you're here.
Hello, my name is Ella Hirsch. I'm a freshman this year, majoring in music education and flute performance. I'm originally from Madison, Wisconsin, and I've been playing flute for around 8 years. I played in my school band program since I started in 5th grade. I really enjoyed playing in jazz band throughout middle and high school as well. I had the amazing opportunity to serve as a drum major for my high school marching band, and I also really enjoyed participating in my local youth orchestra and youth wind ensemble. And another one of my favorite parts of high school was conducting our flute choir and teaching lessons to flute students in my area. I think I knew I had to come study with Professor Porter during my audition, actually. Professor Porter not only significantly improved my playing within a tiny 15-minute audition slot, but she also geared what she was teaching me towards my individual goal of becoming a music educator. And she kind of showed me the way in which I would become this amazing, well-rounded music educator, not only through the music education program here, but through studying flute with her. And it was also really important to me that I studied with someone who would hold me to the same standards as their performance majors and value my artistic journey and my goals on the flute, regardless of my major. Someone who would push me to become the best artist I can be, even though my career path looks a little bit different than many of my studio mates. And that is something that I have definitely found here at the University of Michigan, and specifically in Professor Porter's studio, and I am so grateful for it. I feel like every 60-minute lesson with Professor Porter, it just feels like you're gaining years of knowledge and experience, and I think I have about 10 aha moments in every lesson with her. So I definitely made the right decision for me and my goals, and I could not be happier with where I'm studying and who I'm studying with. In-person learning so far has been wonderful. Like I said, I'm really enjoying in-person lessons so far. To me, learning and teaching music is just all about connecting and collaborating with people, which is just so much easier to do in person. I've already had several in-person lessons, rehearsals, performances. I'll be getting to observe some teaching at a local high school in person, and I've had opportunities to teach children in the area in person. So I think everyone here is really excited, both students and faculty, of course. And I also just really appreciate that in this environment where everyone is so passionate about music and excited to be back playing music in person, everyone has been taking those precautions in terms of COVID and taking COVID safety very seriously, so we're all able to do what we love without worrying about getting sick or worrying about losing that in-person aspect. One piece that I'm currently working on is the Ballade by Carl Reinecke, Opus 288, And I'm actually performing this at studio class this week, so I'm really excited to get to put it together with piano and perform with piano, and also to get feedback from Professor Porter and also from my peers. I'm really looking forward to studying more Baroque music. I'm currently working on Telemann's Fantasia No. 2 in A minor. Baroque music is just some of my favorite music, and I think it teaches you so much about color, phrasing, the shaping of notes, and also about music theory and music history, and how your understanding of those can really enhance your performance. For etudes, I'm currently working on the Anderson Etudes, Opus 33, and I think I would like to work on the Berbiget or the Donjon Etudes next. As I said, I'm a music education student and I want to go on to become a music teacher. So my goals on the flute revolve a lot around gaining interpretation experience with different styles of music and different composers, so that when I'm on the podium, no matter what sort of piece is in front of me, I'm able to use that depth of knowledge that I gained through studying this music so closely and on such a personal level to my advantage. And I think I'll be successful not only because I've studied this music, but because I have struggled with it. I think struggling with something and finding things that don't come easy to you is so important, because you will be able to teach those concepts so much better. I value every little part of my etudes that I struggle with, because I know that after working through these, I'll be able to help someone else work through the same issues, and that I'll be a better teacher because of it. Some of my other goals include stepping out of my comfort zone, which there are many opportunities here for me to do that, and to really take advantage of every opportunity to learn from my peers specifically, because everyone here comes from such diverse backgrounds that there is just a wealth of knowledge waiting for you if you're willing to ask. Right now, I think I'm most excited about having in-person ensemble rehearsal and performances. It's just been great to be back making music in an ensemble with other people and having really challenging and engaging repertoire, and such diverse repertoire as well. I'm also so excited to get some teaching experience in, and there are so many ways to do that, even as like a first semester freshman, which is amazing. And all the professors here are more than excited to get you connected with all these amazing educators in the area. And those teachers are also excited to have you come and work with their students, because they know the quality of the music ed program here. So I'm just very excited to get back to teaching in person as well. I think I was nervous about being able to balance my schoolwork with practicing when I first got here, but Professor Porter has so many ideas about how you can go about this balance, and I've also had so much help and guidance from the upperclassmen flutes in the studio. I don't know what I would do without them to tell me about their experiences as a freshman and help me navigate this whole thing, so I was pretty nervous about that, but I'm not anymore, just because of all of the help that I've gotten from both Professor Porter and the other flutes in the studio. I know from experience that choosing a college and choosing to pursue music specifically is a huge decision to make, and I think being nervous or afraid about making that decision shows that you care about this and that you understand the level of commitment that this will become if you choose to pursue it. Being a professional musician has existed as a career for centuries, and live music of that sort is far too embedded into our society and culture to disappear in a year or two because of COVID. That being said, over those centuries, what being a professional musician looks like has evolved, and I think it will continue to evolve. Being a professional musician now might look completely different than it will in 10 years, and I think instead of being afraid about that, I'm excited that music still has so far to go, and that our art form will forever reflect the changing times. I think you do have to be willing to constantly adapt and be open to new ideas as a professional musician today, but, those traits are important for any career path. I know not everyone is interested in the music education side of being a professional musician, but, great school music programs have the potential to build communities and to foster connections within those communities that I think we need more than ever after this long period of isolation. The world needs great music educators more than ever, and schools and communities want and need you as well. So I think this is a path to consider. Even if your dream is to be in a professional orchestra, I cannot think of an orchestral musician who doesn't also teach. It is incredibly rewarding and just a privilege to teach music, and it is just as noble of a profession. So I think it's a path that all aspiring young musicians should consider when they're looking to pursue music as a career.
My name is Isabella. I am a freshman and I am from New York City. I started flute lessons at the age of 6 under the tutelage of Susan Friedlander at the 3rd Street Music Settlement. In 7th grade, I performed Minuet and Dance of the Blessed Spirits by Christoph Gluck at the memorial for my middle school music teacher, Ms. Tan. As I played the last note, I relished the silence sustained before the audience's applause created a cacophony, and right then and there, I realized that performers could give audiences safe space for digesting emotions and grief, inspiring empathy and motivation. From then on, I've always been inspired to build my craft through the tedious work required to communicate musical intent, hopefully allowing the audience to love the music just as much as I do. I have also studied composition and singer-songwriting, pop songwriting, at the Face the Music program in New York City, which is a group of youth dedicated to living composers. So we premiere, perform, and write our own music. Writing my own music has allowed me to showcase my original songs to the Kaufman Music Center community and the Ann Arbor community, and also apply my classical music theory knowledge and ear training in a completely different perspective. I chose to study with Professor Porter at the University of Michigan because I wanted to learn the fundamental skills relating vibrato, tone color, and phrasing to specific genres and time periods. And when I listen to Professor Porter, it is just thrilling, and you can clearly hear the musical intent. Since having a pre-audition lesson with Professor Porter even before I decided to attend the University of Michigan, we talked about width of vibrato matching to specific dynamics in the second movement of the Mozart Flute Concerto in D major and the beginning of Sonatine for Flute and Piano by Henry Dutilleux. Since this time, I've built upon this knowledge and become my own best teacher for enabling vibrato to properly reflect musical intent. It was then that I realized that Professor Porter could teach me an invaluable skill over the next 4 years that I'll be here, which is eventually becoming my own best teacher. I am currently working on the Bach Sonata in E minor and the Mozart Flute Concerto in G major, third movement, in addition to orchestral excerpts such as Ravel's Daphnis and Chloe. I am so excited to work more on Paul Hindemith's Symphonic Metamorphosis orchestral excerpt and delve deeper into Kluckhardt Wind Quintet and the Hindemith Wind Quintet, both of which I'm working on in my chamber music group. I have a special love for playing the piccolo in wind ensemble, particularly pieces by Percy Grainger and Holst, and I intend to continue playing piccolo professionally in large ensembles, so I'm very much hoping to get a piccolo part in the symphony band, which I'm currently a part of that amazing group, because I want to learn extensive intonation, balance, and performance etiquette skills for the piccolo. I'm currently working on Kohler Romantic Etudes, which have been amazing for making sure that my corners don't get in the way of my embouchure and my octaves. And I'm very excited to start learning Rose Etudes. The music industry is always changing. While knowing how to write an excerpt in 2-to-1 counterpoint to one of Fuchs's Cantus Firmi will always be important, becoming a well-rounded, critically thinking individual will enable me to write grants, self-advocate, and lead interdisciplinary projects that will form the future of classical and modern music. That's why I'm here studying at the University of Michigan, so that I can become a leader in the music industry. For those that want to get a degree in music but are scared because of the pandemic, I want to remind you that people who decide to major in music are immensely special. They have passion, and they have a sense of liveliness and determination that you can just sense in their smile and their eyes and just from talking to them. The pandemic and quarantine make it hard to remember, but music is social. It's a social art. And becoming a music major and making those lifelong friendships and connections, it's worth it.
Hey there, my name's Ting-Yu, but I also go by Joyce. I'm currently a freshman at the University of Michigan, and I'm from Homedale, New Jersey. I've been playing the flute for approximately 9 years now, and what got me into the flute was that my mother was actually a flautist, so at an early age, I always enjoyed listening to her perform and teach students, which influenced my decision to play the flute as well. And later on in high school, I received guidance from Mr. Bart Feller at the Juilliard Pre-College program, and through the courses offered in the program, I expanded my knowledge about music theory and learned about ear training, in addition to performing in chamber ensembles and orchestra. I have always aspired to study with Professor Porter here at University of Michigan because I still remember finding her YouTube channel a long time ago and was listening to the Berbier YouTube series. What stood out to me most about each video was how Professor Porter was able to elevate and bring out the character of individual etudes with creativity, whether that be playing with classroom instruments or duets with other flutists. Her fun interpretation of etudes made them not even seem like etudes, but a full-on concerto. That's how I knew I wanted to study under Professor Porter. And in terms of in-person learning, it has been going fairly well so far. I am super excited to be playing in an orchestra again and going to class in person. After a long time of virtual learning, though, I do admit it definitely took a bit of adjusting again. Pieces I'm working on right now include the Bach Flute Sonata in E minor and a Prokofiev Flute Sonata. And in terms of orchestral excerpts, I am working on the Big Five, which includes Debussy's Prelude to the Afternoon of a Faun, Mendelssohn's A Midsummer Night's Dream, Ravel's Daphnis et Chloe, Beethoven's Leonore Overture, and Brahms' Symphony No. 4 in E minor. In the University Philharmonic Orchestra, we'll be performing the Toccata Festiva by Samuel Barber, Czech Suite by Dvorak, and variations on a theme by Haydn by Brahms. Pieces I would like to learn. Honestly, I am open to learning anything and everything, though I would love to learn a piece of chamber music titled White Landscapes by Takashi Yoshimatsu for flute, cello, and harp. It is a beautiful 3-movement work dedicated to describing snow in the mist of winter. I'll definitely recommend giving this a listen. Another piece I'll love to work on is Air by Toru Takemitsu. I think you can probably tell by now there's a theme of the environment and the elements, which I love. And in terms of etudes, I am approaching the last one by Karg Ehlert, and once I finish, I am interested in learning Paganini's 24 Caprices. In terms of goals that I would like to accomplish during my time here at University of Michigan is to continue nurturing my love for the flute and the sciences. And a goal I have for myself is to continue pushing myself to improve while maintaining a healthy balance of social and academic life. I am also excited to try new things I've never done before, but in a way it is also what I am most nervous about because I'll be stepping outside my comfort zone. And I know there's a lot of people who are interested in pursuing a degree in music, but due to pandemic is a little afraid. My advice for you would be to just go for it because having been in the same situation, I understand the uncertainty. I would suggest trying it out first to see for yourself and ask yourself if there's also another passion you are also interested in and possibly pursuing as a career. Since I knew I also enjoyed learning about biochemistry, I'm also pursuing a degree in that field at the University of Michigan. And don't be afraid to ask your professors and fellow musicians for advice on what opportunities are out there. They're your utmost valuable resources and support network too. They'll open your eyes to all the possibilities, and you'll find that everyone is in the same boat. We're all in this together. All right, that's all from me. Thank you for having me on the podcast.
Hello, I'm Ting-Yu. I am a freshman from Taiwan. I've been playing the flute for 9 years. I first started in 4th grade by joining my elementary school band and taking private lessons. I continued in band and private lessons throughout middle school and high school, and I participated in international honor bands and music festivals, and I also joined a community band in high school. I chose to attend this school because Michigan is one of the only colleges that makes it possible for me to study both flute performance and chemical engineering at a very high level. In addition, I knew that Professor Porter is so knowledgeable and experienced in flute performance, and I really wanted to learn from her. I'm so grateful that we got to study in person this semester. My favorite part of in-person learning is getting to play in orchestra, since COVID has made it very difficult to do so in the past year. I met so many talented and friendly people in the flute studio, orchestra, and my other classes, and I don't think that would have been possible if we were doing school online. Currently, for solo, I am working on UMICH for solo flute by Eugene Botza. I'm also working on the Ravel, Daphnis and Chloe excerpt, the Dvorak excerpt, and the Mendelssohn Scherzo excerpt. For etudes, I'm currently working on the Berger etudes. In orchestra, we just finished a concert, so we will be working on Massenet's opera next. I'm so excited to learn more solos, excerpts, and etudes from different styles and musical eras so I can extend my repertoire and my technique. In my time here, I hope to develop my performance skills, musicality, and also find my voice on the flute. In a larger scope, I really want to figure out what I want in life as a performer and as an engineer. I'm so excited, but also kind of nervous to encounter these new experiences and challenges, but I believe that with all the opportunities here, I can really grow and improve. For those who are hesitant to pursue a degree in music due to the pandemic, I would encourage them to go for it nonetheless, because even though the pandemic may continue and never go away, we are working towards normalcy, and you should not let this pandemic stop you from pursuing what you really want.
Hi, my name is Mia Cotton. I'm a freshman. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and I've been playing the flute for 7 years now. I mainly started playing the flute in 6th grade after theater and choir hadn't really worked out for me, and I just sort of followed along with the rest of my friends, and it wasn't up until high school that I realized I really wanted to pursue a degree in it. The University of Michigan has been my dream throughout all of high school. I was always so impressed with everything that Professor Porter had put out on social media, whether it was as a soloist or watching videos of the studio. I also loved how SMTD is incredibly supportive of pursuing a dual degree in addition to the beautiful campus and the student life. I've really enjoyed in-person learning again. I think that taking time online made me realize just how grateful I am to be a part of group ensembles and in-person class discussions. I'm currently working on the Muchinsky Sonata, Bach Sonata in C major, Anderson Etudes Opus 33, and excerpts from the Mendelssohn and Leonore. I would love to work on the Hugh Fantasy Paganini Caprices and be a part of a wind quintet. During my time here, I hope to get into community service throughout the Detroit area, find ways to overlap my degrees in social work and music, in addition to participating in as many ensemble experiences as possible. I'm most excited to participate in chamber groups, and I think I'm most nervous about the workload of doing 2 degrees. I think the experience of the pandemic has proved that music can thrive in so many different ways. Despite not being in a traditional orchestral setting, people put together online arrangements with individuals from across the world. So with that being said, I think that despite our circumstances, music will always find a way.
My job is a very important one. I meet with people, and I have their futures in mind. So thank you to my freshmen. You won't be freshmen for long. In fact, you'll be out in the world before you know it. I appreciate your time. I value your talents. I just want to say how grateful I am that you're in my studio. Join us on our next podcast when we are going to interview Gabe and Jake Fridkiss, the Flute Bros. I'm so excited. They are both playing in the same orchestra, Fort Worth Symphony Orchestra. So I'm so excited to meet them and speak with them, and I think we're going to have a whole lot of laughs. Find more about me at amyporter.com or for students, porterflute.com. Thanks for being in Porter Flute Pod. I'm so grateful for you.